AGamer here, and I've realized a lot of new players are starting to come into Guild Wars 2, probably because Bless Online was a little bit more than just a disappointment. Sad day indeed. So I just want to give you some tips and tricks, or just a general guide on the whole PvP scene in Guild Wars 2, just so that every time you join a game, you won't get toxic players calling you a noob the entire time.
Don't touch mine.
Now, I will not delve into class or builds, as that's what class builds are for. Instead, I want to just give a shotgun of tips to make you a better player. Now, what I say isn't absolutes. Experience is the best mentor, as it taught me everything I know and what I'm about to say. Let's start with mobility. Mobility is how fast you can get from point A to point B, and in PvP, I mean that almost literally. If you're able to get to a point and decap or contest it, that's less points for the enemy. If you're able to run away from a tight situation and not die, that's less points for the enemy. As a warrior, I'm able to go to the far point in the beginning of the match and contest it before it even gets capped. That's more of a point gap for our team. Every tick counts in PvP, so keep an eye on the point counter. I hate to mention this, but learn basic math where you understand that if you're losing but have 2 points capped, do the math and see if in the long run it makes sense to rush the point in hopes of decapping it, or holding your ground and let the tick timer catch you up by just simply waiting. I had several losses where we would have won had we not rushed the last point and had an enemy decap behind us. See this? This is called the mini-map. It's like your regular map, but mini. Pay attention to it. It not only tells you where your friends are, but also where the enemy is and is not. For instance, if you're respawning and see that home is being held by one of your own, and he is fighting 2v1, that means there's 3 bodies somewhere else. Are they on mid? If you're fast, far is open for decapping then. You can go to mid and make it a 3v4, put the fight in your favor. Is the person on home holding their own and still has the point health for your team? He doesn't need your help then. How can you tell if he does need your help? His health bar. Is it full? Has he been fine there for a while now and still holding their own? They got it. Leave them alone. They're fine. They're doing their job. Normally I don't advise fighting 2v1, but if your build is up for it and you got the skill for it, stalling and kiting the enemy is worth the point loss because bodies on the map are worth more. There's no shame in running away from a fight. You're no good to your team dead, and that's how snowballing happens. Letting yourself die for the sake of holding a point an extra tick but having a 15-second respawn time is just not worth it. Know when to run away from a fight, heal, and then relocate. This also applies to not getting into 1v1 fights that you know you have a strong chance of dying. They say 3rd time's the charm, not in PvP. If you 1v1 somebody and die twice, that's it. Don't run into them thinking you'll win. Most likely you probably won't. You get a second chance, but not more. If you run into them on a point and you're by yourself, it's best to turn around and run where you'll be useful. Don't think of it as a cowardice retreat, but rather a strategic advancement towards the opposite direction. And once you get to that place you're most useful, pick your target and focus them down. Putting pressure on a single enemy from 3 different sources will melt them faster than me and a Condi bomb. So you've been fighting for a while and some secondary objective pops on the map. There's always going to be that one person who demands that the entire team rushes it because the game depends on it. Especially if it's Bell on the map of Revenge on the Capricorn. Now I don't care what they say. 3 people, max. If 3 go and contest the objective, you still have 2 bodies available to defend your points, or if the entire enemy decides to rush that point, you got somebody to decap. Point capping outweighs the objective. So that's the main stuff I wanted to say, so consider this post-writing. Don't activate all your skills at once hoping you're going to burst the enemy down. They will have a counter, and all you're going to do is burn through your skills and have nothing left. Auto attack is your friend. Don't be toxic. If you win, say GG and move on. If you lose, say GG and move on. It makes everybody's day better. Also, the block and report button exists for a reason. Use them. Tell your teammates where you're going in the beginning of the match if you're not going mid. Ready up when you're ready. This is a team game. Try to work together, as hard as that sounds, I know. Keep an eye on your teammates' health. It's going to come in handy you knowing whether they need help or who they're even fighting. Cut corners when moving around the map. Remember, the faster you get from A to B, it's that much more time used efficiently, and efficiency wins games. Now, the best advice that I could possibly give anybody to be the best PvP player in Guild Wars 2, play the game.